Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Sage McCorkadale here with his programme Chitter Chat. Welcome. And I want to make a formal apology to all the Muslims amongst you, because we should have associated certain aspects of the last interview or interviews with the extreme Islamists who are not normal everyday Muslims. Van Strappen, as you well know, has I'm not going to go into this in depth, but I do make that apology because of the Christianity pill that, please, Van Strappen invented. And it was given to a few, experimentally, of course, a few Islamists in prison in Belmarsh. And indeed, they did become... please, for God's sake, Father, I'm being serious. Well, they did indeed get erections. They, you know, and there's nothing worse than extreme Christianity. I mean, look what the Americans did with the Republicans when they were in charge. Nothing worse than that, than extreme Christians on the charge. Anyway, I do apologise to our soft Muslims out there. There was also the aspect of being assaulted in some way, verbally, I mean, by the fellow. What is his name? What's his name? What's that chap's name that I interviewed yesterday? Yes, he did like me, but I didn't like it. And it always sort of reminds me of Truman Capote. Truman Capote. You know, it's very French, and you would expect a little bit more from the French these days. Mr. Capote with a French heritage, and it was not good. It was not good, I tell you this. And, you know, and it reminds me of a visit I made last late evening to the vapor baths, or you might call it a Turkish bath, but I like to think of it in terms of it's a meeting place for men of all denominations, personalities and backgrounds. The whole business. I had one hell of a day with Truman Capote.
He was a bit of a nightmare. You understand? I'll give you that. No, I used to go down the vapor room down in Poplar. We used to clear everybody out, and we used to spend the day together with the pretty young things of our time. That
hardly seems fair, sending away the little Jewish chaps.
No, you got money, they never do anything for a pound note. Then, I used to drop them a coin of the realm. They used to do anything with that. And if they didn't, a bit of violence.
Why do you imply that Jewish people are always chasing the coin of the realm, as you put it?
Well, that's what they do. I remember the big Solly. He used to give me, he was known as the best presser down the vapor room. He's a presser. I'll give you a nice back rub. And he was known as Solly the presser. Now, I remember I gave him my sovereign ring, the gold sovereign ring to look after while I was in having a swim. I come back and get it. He's gone.
Well, where did he?
I'd already gone out to Essex and he opened up a club.
You see, didn't you chase him? I mean, it's not like you.
Solly the presser. He'd gone. He got a Jewish circle, you understand? There's an underground connection. It's a Jewish network, you understand? Once they've gone through Hatton Garden, they've done what they've had to do with their Jewish brethren, and he shot off to Essex. The trail went quiet. I heard Solly the presser. He shaved off his moustache, and after that, no one knew where he'd gone.
Sort of a bit like Lucan, Lord Lucan.
Well, he never had a moustache, and he never went to Essex. He was found in Africa, wasn't he?
Lucan was never found.
I found him out there, you understand? I found him out there. He had my gold sovereign ring on. I found him sitting in a restaurant in Tangiers. He was ordering kufta kebab.
Did you get your ring back?
The fuck do you think? Look at that. I've heard he's now living in Essex with Solly the presser.
Well, I suppose you could say that Essex wasn't Essex as we know it then. Well, no, it was countryside, wasn't it?
Full of cunts, yeah.
For God's sake. Don't say that. I mean, Harlow Newtown, a wonderful piece of ingenuity.
No, it's not the East End, though, is it? Not the old East End of London, with the German bombs. They moved us all out there afterwards.
When you say...
You don't get no vapour rooms out there.
What did they know? I'm sure...
Bunch of perverts, that's what they are.
You get the odd little place in the high road where you can have a rub down, which brings me back to the point I wanted to make in the first place.
I would say.
And what I want, no, seriously, I want to take issue with it. Give me a chance. In the old days, when I was a youngster, I used to go along to Imonga Road baths. I used to go along there.
Did you ever meet Thorny the Presser?
No, little beds there. And after a session, as it were, and I mean a nice session, little rub down by Charlie.
Was that Chinese Charlie, deaf in one eye and blind in one ear?
The very same. Little rub down by Charlie with his, what do you call those things? With a soap. Well, it wasn't a loofah. No.
A loofah. He had a loofah shoved up his arse, ladies and gentlemen.
No, this is not true.
And it was Charlie's trick.
No,
said, I'll give you a good anal scrape. That's what Charlie used to say.
Well, I don't care what you say. Please, I don't want dirt. I don't want...
That's what Charlie said.
No.
Get rid of this.
The point that I was trying... the point I was trying to make, it was harmless in those days. And people had a degree of modesty. They did. They would go, take their clothes off in the locker room, wrap a towel around them, and go into the vapour bath and discreetly sit down and take the towel
and reveal
off.
a buttock.
Nothing
Revealing
like that.
the buttocks.
No.
That's
Nothing like that.
The
little Jewish chaps that used to run the bath, they were modest, and no, they were. But now you go into the... Please, you go into these places now, and people stand there exposing their parts. They don't really care about modesty, I remember going to Southend in those early days, on the beach.
With a loofah shoved up your ass.
No, please.
That's what you do.
We would discreetly put the towel around us and take our shorts down, child rub ourselves in a very discreet, modest way.
Then you'd slip your shorts. And then, slip your shorts off.
Yeah, we would indeed, and it was done modestly.
Popped his bow tie on the
everybody
hook. Popped his bow tie on the hook. On the hook, he popped it there.
No, everything.
His little bow tie.
They let everything hang out, as it were.
Exactly.
To put it crudely. And do you know what? When you go into one of those places, what you hope it is going to be, you hope it is going to be all men together in not knowing
a fisting session.
No.
A fisting session.
No. Men going in there together. Bathing. Oh, for God's sake, stop it! Turkish bathing. I don't go to. I don't know, and that's bad. You think about it, Turkish bathing. What on earth does that mean? And as for the so-called fisting sessions, not on. It wasn't sexual. And you would go in the old days, you would go there, you wouldn't know who the little fellow in the corner was. You wouldn't know who the big fellow in the corner was, who would be discreetly sitting on his towel so as not to dirty any of the wooden slats under his posterior.
They didn't want to wipe his bottom on the wooden slats.
Nothing like that.
Well, you can tell they're Jewish.
No.
Bloody circumcisions.
There was a full mix of people, not just Jewish people. The man in the corner could have been a Muslim.
Shaw.
It could have been Dennis Shaw.
He used to sit on a towel. In fact, he used to sit on two. And I also remember the staff of the vapour room saying that he actually needed three.
Well, they should know.
It's been mentioned in many circles, high society circles, that Shaw broke many a bench. He used to come in half pissed.
And just sit on the
slats. Broke them.
Well, I suppose you might...
It didn't go down well with the Jewish chaps.
Well, they wouldn't like it, would they?
Go back to the petty cash and get a new slats. And he get a bloody carpenter outside on several occasions.
He called it his benchmark.
It was his benchmark, certainly.
Not the most... not the most
subtle of experiences.
No.
I have to say,
he was the
endeavours. It cost him a lot of money, what with the call-out charges. These Jewish carpenters, they always overcharge.
I didn't think there was such a thing as a Jewish carpenter.
I'm sure Jesus was a Jewish carpenter, Sage.
Yeah, and he was...
the first Jewish carpenter.
Yeah, but he didn't charge.
Bloody did, Sage. It was a racket then and it's a racket now.
Oh, for God's sake.
Bloody hell. And they didn't have to deal with Dennis Shaw.
Talking of Dennis Shaw... Didn't he play slimy villains? Didn't he play a slimy villain in The Avengers?
Maybe not, Sage, but I know this for sure. He certainly left his slimy trace on the wooden slats at the vapour rooms. You always knew where Dennis Shaw had been sitting, Sage.
I'm sure we were being a little unfair to Dennis Shaw. I never heard of him breaking any benches in Dixon of Dock Green.
Well, I'm sure he did, Sage. But I know he was
He was best known for his part in the Colditz story. You know, he played a German guard. They were doing a scene, and Dennis sat on one of the wooden benches, and bloody thing broke. So they had to call a carpenter in. He was a little Jewish chap. He came in, he saw Dennis in his Nazi regalia, and he shot him in the leg. That's for Auschwitz, you bastard.
Oh, for God's sake,
Dennis
it can't be
Shaw.
true. Can't be true.
I know it was.
Well, he's suffered then, Dennis. He's
He
only...
certainly has. The incident held up production for 3 weeks, and they gave Dennis the bill. He overcharged him. That's Dennis Shaw for you, Sage. They became firm friends afterwards, you know that.
Well, the little Jewish chap, so he didn't press charges.
They never pressed charges. They went to the vapour rooms.
Together.
Yeah, Dennis used to bounce the little Jewish chap on his knee. They used to break a sweat together, dear boy. That's one thing you can say about Dennis. He never held a grudge.
Well, that shows keenness of spirit.
A keenness of spirit and a sense of maturity.
Exactly.
And if you saw him in the vapour rooms, you'd soon get a shock.
Well, you certainly would.
Like being in the Black Lagoon.
Well, there you are. Like on
Blue Lagoon. Is it the Black Lagoon or the Blue Lagoon?
I'm not sure.
With
I'm not sure, if you pardon the
You're not
pun.
sure. With the girl with the big breasts and the small what do they call it?
Well, why are you making gestures there?
The small mini metro.
Well, why are you doing
Made
that?
in the 60s, Sage. I wasn't there. It was though everybody was jitterbugging.
Twiggy, was it?
It might have been Twiggy, but she was quite flat-chested. I think she did the twist.
Exactly, chubby checker.
The twist. She
Twist again, like
yes,
exactly.
Dennis was never into that.
It was no, we couldn't do it anyway.
Couldn't do it anyway.
It was too big.
Too big.
I think it just about
By
move
that
his
point.
feet.
No, and you're going on about it. I think you really got it in for him.
Oh, hardly. The poor man.
You got it in for him, I think.
I'm just a little disappointed with you, Colonel. You've gone off track again.
And bloody it isn't.
You've gone off track. All I was trying to equate the whole scene to, you know, the whole scene in those early days is that men were men, and men did everything that they do discreetly. Everything was discreet, and I used the towel as a symbol, you know. And what we have,
upset with Truman Capote.
I was upset with Capote because he was blatant, aggressively sexual.
Persuasion.
No gentle persuasion.
Had he been a little bit more gentle, do you think he would have relented?
I would not have relented, but that isn't the point, is it? That isn't the point. I may have offered him my towel and he could have gone off
and sniffed it.
No, well, let him do what he wants to do in his
private moment.
And that's the point. Private moments.
Private moments. Solly the presser.
Solly the presser.
No, it's nice, Solly was. He was a good man.
Well, there you are. And he had his point.
Sovereign, and when you do that, I'll cut you up.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm not talking about the time where you bullied everybody, Ronnie. You know, sent everybody out of the bathhouse.
Said everyone to fucking Coventry, that's what I've done.
Well, you do. You've had some.
And
Look,
Mad Teddy Smith was there. Albert Donahue. We were all there.
Yeah.
We got rubbed down. No.
Yeah, you see, and I'm sure it wasn't.
Jack Dixon, he was there.
I'm sure it wasn't sexual. They wouldn't have had that sort of thing.
No, listen, if you gave them a couple of quid, they'd slip you a finger.
No, I don't like that. I just don't.
No, that it was in the old days.
No, it's just like that in the new days, isn't it? But why bring it up? I just don't want to think in terms of that. As I said, nothing is sexual in my thinking. You know.
You're a Puritan, aren't you, Sage?
Well, indeed.
Fundamentally.
No, I'm not.
Fundamentally, you'd like to lock everyone up as a deviant thought.
Well,
deviancy is what you despise.
Look, everything is in the mind of the beholder.
The mind of the beholder.
So I don't want to think about these aspects of your nature. Really don't.
I know, but it's all human nature.
Well, it's
I am a human being, therefore I am capable of everything a human being is capable of.
I'm all for control, you know. I am all for control. If you're an addictive personality, you can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to sex. You can be addicted to sport. Everything.
Cutting people. Slicing
Well,
them up.
indeed. So what I'm saying is, you know, if you were brought up in a different way, say you were brought up in a middle-class family, Ronnie, what would have happened? You know, would you be running around hurting people, demanding money with menaces at the school gate? You probably wouldn't. You may well be a bully at Eton or something. You know, you might be Fleischmann, that sort of thing.
No, that is what you've said there.
What have I said?
You're out of order.
I said it's all a case of time and place, and you could have been a middle class. You could have been a top class politician, even a prime
Sending
minister.
young men to war, controlling them, organising plans, reading maps.
Reading maps. There you are. You see, you could have been a map reader. Could have been anything you wanted to be.
Genghis Khan, reading ordnance survey maps.
Well, indeed.
Genghis
But I'm
Khan on
wondering.
the charge, you understand? Don't mess about, don't ever put me down. I know who I
I'm
am.
not putting you down. I'm
No,
just
you're
saying
trying to put me down
time
'cause I
and
like
place
a
is
finger,
everything.
finger at me, Harris.
You see, why does it always have to come down to this?
always
You're
comes down to
preoccupied.
the
You're
finger.
preoccupied with your sex. You're preoccupied with your man part. You're just a
That's a
terrible.
very nice man part.
How would you know? I wouldn't expect.
I saw it in the vapour room many moons ago.
You saw it in the vapour
He
room.
popped it through the glory holes, for Solly.
Well, how can
Solly
you-
the presser.
how
Solly
can-
went to work on it. He played it like a flute.
Played it like a flute. Played it what? You're inferring that he's good with his fingers.
He was a masseuse.
It wasn't a masseuse. He did masseuse things
in his spare time.
In his spare time, he was a presser. You get it always mixed up. He worked for Gaylord Crimson. He pressed trousers and suit jackets.
I always thought he was called Solly the presser because he was good with his fingers.
He was a presser. He used to
No,
press
no,
trousers.
He's a presser. He used to press your back. Masseuse.
Oh dear. Okay, well let's accept that. Let's accept that he had a spare time job in the vapour rooms. My word.
I suppose you're right, Sage. I'm sure perhaps Gaylord Crimson didn't want to let him go. And when one thinks about it, Solly probably managed to win a little bit of pin money at the vapour rooms.
Exactly. Now you've got it. You've got it.
Bit of
We've
pin
sorted
money.
that one out.
Part-time work.
Part-time work.
He was good with his fingers.
Good with his fingers. I don't think he took any money for it anyway. I think he liked it.
He stole my fucking sovereign ring.
Well,
though.
we know that. That's
got it back,
history.
though.
You got it back. That's all that matters at this stage.
It doesn't change the fact that you used to go to the vapour rooms to have a little peek through the glory holes.
Nothing like
You
that.
know, Joe.
Okay. Perhaps that was the only way. But I'm not looking at men's penises.
Are you not?
We're
News to me.
No, I'm more interested in the anthropology of the whole thing, Colonel. You know that.
Yeah, that's what George Michael said when he was caught flashing his part on the heath.
Not true. Human behaviour, that is what I'm about.
So you're Bjork now, are you, Sage?
Human behaviour in a serious sense. You know, using my intellect, find out why people do what they do. It is nothing sexual. That's what I'm saying. Why do people have to identify themselves even when they're in the vapour rooms nude? You've got Jewish chaps with skull caps. You've got Sikhs with turbans. This is wrong. It has to be. Look, you must understand this when you go nuding with Mrs. Webb, Cliff Richard's mother. You know that. You don't wear your medals, do you?
I'm nude. I'm as God made me.
Exactly.
God made me like a baby.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you understand
See,
that.
I understand the aspect.
That's why you can't
You're
accuse
an
me anymore
anthropologist.
of peeping. Of peeping
you do
through.
peep through the glory hole. You admit it.
Well, I have studied
So you're
human
a scientist,
nature.
not a pervert.
Exactly.
A scientist, not a pervert. An anthropologist, not a deviant.
Exactly.
Talking
Now
about-
you're on my
I'm on
side.
your wavelength now, Sage. I'll use that as my excuse next time I'm caught up at the heath. I'm doing a science project.
Don't mock me, Colonel. You know, this is a serious business. Why can't they just be people now? You know, everybody has to be identified with...
But they need something to associate themselves with something.
With something,
Otherwise
you know.
they feel like they don't exist. And the truth of the matter is...
That's where you get celebrity, don't you?
Celebrity, I don't mind. Sage. I mean, the world is an asylum, Sage, and the patients have taken over.
They've taken over.
The world is
in
an
a
asylum,
way.
and the patients have taken over,
Exactly.
and that is what's happened here, there, and everywhere.
I want people
Have a cup of tea.
to go... Please. I want people to go into the vapour bath completely stripped of everything that they can be associated with.
A nudist.
Well, that's why nudism, in its essence, and you being a nudist yourself, you know, you understand that aspect.
The
thing is...
the world is an asylum, and the patients,
problem is
the
with
patients
you-
are running loose. And you talk a lot of twaddle and tish.
I've talked twaddle. I just wanted to talk about modesty per se.
Well, I'll be modest then.
Yeah, modesty has
I'm
gone.
very honest.
Everybody's blatant nowadays.
Yeah.
People are drunk on Friday nights, rolling around in the curb.
Having
I
fun.
can't stand
Having
it.
fun in the gutter.
Is that what you call it?
Having fun in the gutter. Sage.
Inebriated.
Inebriated,
Our young folk are falling all over themselves.
The world is an asylum, Sage. The patients
Exactly.
have taken over. They're running a mosque.
They're
I'm in
running a
Bradford.
mock, not a mosque.
Either way, it's still a bit mad.
I think it would be
They want
wonderful
they
if
love
we
it.
were all the same. It would be.
You know, you want a utopian view of the world. I've told you about utopianism, Sage. Before you know it, you'll be rounding up the Jews. Before you know it, you'll be rounding up the undesirables. And, you know,
Why you say undesirables? You know, in the last war, that was a very, very bad time.
serious.
They weren't only rounding up
They were
Jewish
rounding
people;
up,
they were gypsies,
homosexuals,
gypsies. Yes,
Ju-
indeed.
Jewish chaps,
Jewish chaps, poor Jewish
cripples,
chaps.
scopers, freaks.
Yeah, indeed.
Popping them-
There's no such word as freak now in our language.
In the English,
We don't use it.
English vernacular.
Well,
no.
Scope would go
So we go
mad.
mental. But if they pop him in a
No, don't please don't upset
in a
someone
in a
else.
glass tank.
Who are you going to put in a glass tank now? You know.
Well, I
give me
mean,
a break.
they pop Merrick in one.
Merrick, that was 100 years ago,
And
and I was the one
pop,
that helped.
what's his name? Simon Weston.
Simon is a wonderful man. Please don't bring
Pop him
up.
in a tank.
He was scarred, fighting for the country.
For the Falklands, Sage.
Yes.
And,
Exactly.
the Falklands is something I
He helped sink the
hold-
Belgrano.
Hold dear to my heart. I'm going out there in a speedboat in my new custom-made dory.
You're Dory.
I'm going out there in my dory. You know that. I am, Sage. I'm going out there with what's his name, Damien Hirst, Sage. We've commissioned him. We're going out there. We're going to pop Weston in a tank, cover him in formaldehyde. That's what we'll do. Keep those bastards off our island.
You're ridiculous. What are you doing that for?
Damien Hirst he's won the Turner Prize.
Well, how are you going to get Simon to agree?
And like I say, Simon Weston's very excited at the prospect of working with a Turner Prize winning artist. He's quite happy to jump in the tank. And, as long as he's got enough oxygen, he'll be fine. And Hirst is really, I'd say he's outdone himself this time.
All this to scare the Argentinian people or the army.
No, it's going to happen, you'll see. Bloody scare the living daylights out of them, Sage. That's what it'll do. Imagine that. You come charging over the hill, see Weston in a tank.
Weston in a tank. You say he's agreed to this? Well, I doubt it very much. And even if he had agreed to it, how the hell is the man going to breathe?
He's already agreed.
He's retired.
He could put a hose pipe in his mouth.
But there's a hosepipe ban.
A hose pipe ban will give him a snorkel and mask. But that's what we'll do. He won a bloody Turner Prize, Damon Hirst. We're going to put Simon Weston in a tank. We'll cover him in formaldehyde. We'll put a Freddy Krueger top on him. And it'll keep the arches off our land.
Is that going to scare them off? Or scare them off?
I'm telling you, bloody well. I've had enough of it, Sage. We're going out there. Fully armed. We might even take Tracy Emin and make her put a bed on the border.
Art is not going to scare the Argiers.
They will. They see Tracy Emin's semen-stained sheets. They'll shit themselves.
I can't believe that you're even thinking in these terms.
They have to say we need to protect our little island down there, all those thousands and thousands of miles away. It's our island, Sage.
So what you're saying is, rather like Traitor's Gate, where the heads were put outside, the heads of
traitors. We're showing them what we'll do here.
And you're putting dear Simon out as a symbol.
As a symbol of this, we'll have a Union Jack flag wrapped round him with a picture of the Belgrano on, as you say.
That will upset them.
That'll upset them wholeheartedly. Well, can't have this tomfoolery from the Argies. Only if they carry on, we'll kidnap Maradona and we'll pop him in formaldehyde, and we won't even give him a fucking snorkel. How about that? How about that?
I can't in
They
heaven.
won't like it. And my Maradona, bloody thing, bloody cheating against us in 1986. There'll be no hand of God this time. We'll chop his bloody hands off, Sage. We'll pop them in formaldehyde and we'll put them outside Traitor's Gate so everybody knows what's going on.
Colonel, you're bonkers.
Yeah, maybe, but Turner Prize-winning artists are on my side, Sage. Tracy Emin and Damon Hirst. And I'll be Lord of the Admiralty not before long. You know that, don't you?
I mean, I think your time has passed, Colonel.
Bloody hell's coming back round. You know, what goes around comes around. You know that, Sage.
What goes around comes around, so you'll get yours, Colonel, eventually. What are you going to do? 2 Turner-winning artists. You're getting to...
Well, Weston's the key, Sage.
Weston's the key! You're going to put him in a tank of formaldehyde?
That's what we'll do, Sage.
And he's agreed to it? No, I can't believe any of it. I can't. You know, it's gone too far.
He wasn't too keen on the Freddy Krueger shirt, I'll give you that.
Well, there you are, you see.
But I said it's for the full effect, Simon. No, you've got to do this for Blighty.
For Blighty?
Get that bloody hockey top on. He's very brave, is Mr. Weston. He's proving how brave he is here and put himself in the hands of Damon Hirst.
Well, you know, I never ever thought in these terms.
And prove to the artists that our art is better than their art.
And you, if it stayed with art, then I would say, okay, go with it. What would they do to respond to this in an artistic way? Can you think about it?
Well, then they'll probably dig up that bloody Eva Peron and stick her on a flagpole. Not very creative, is it, Sage? Probably pipe in some fucking Madonna. Bloody hell, they'll drive us mad. Having to listen to that bloody cow.
You see, you always sidetrack the issue.
Well, you can say that, but we've got that covered, Sage. We'll get bloody Simon Weston to sing some Welsh verse.
Well,
imagine it, Sage, from the valleys.
From the valleys.
They'll bloody scare the hell out of the arches. They've never heard anything like it. Men with real baritone voices. They'll blow Madonna right off stage. Right off.
Rugby songs, yes?
Rugby songs, freaking up the rigging and all that.
What will it sound like? Through the snorkel, Colonel. You forgot that, didn't you?
Huh? I don't know. It'll sound like bloody Gascoigne singing Fog on the Tyne or something like that.
See, now you're stretching the point.
They're not used to Geordies.
They won't like it, Colonel. And in any case, who on earth is going to kidnap Maradona? He's a god.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who kidnapped him.
Well, you're
MI5 or MI6. We're sending one of those juju men. Or the other lot, lamplighters.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's not gone. Damien Hirst. He wants to win another Turner.
He wants to win a Turner Prize. He wants to frighten the arges. Absolutely ridiculous.
Saves on bullets.
Saves on bullets. You're off your head, Colonel. And our Secret Service are not going to be interested in Diego Maradona now.
But if they're not bloody interested, we'll send Terry Butcher. How about that? Another brave Englishman. Weston's Welsh, but we won't hold that against him. He's a very tough, courageous man, Mr. Weston. He's willing to,
to set himself up.
To set himself up for a fall, you might say.
Indeed. I'm totally bemused, confused. And you're out of your depth.
We'll open a vapour room out there. How about that?
Yeah, and will you charge the arges?
I will charge them. We'll do it.
Yeah, well, there you are. You see,
Solly the Presser out there.
It's Solly the Presser now. I mean, this whole thing has gone too far.
It's gone beyond the joke. It's gone beyond the joke. It's gone beyond the perils of human existence. And I'll show them all.
This is all in your head. You know that.
You may say that, Sage, but this is certainly an issue.
Well, it's not even an issue. It's in your head.
And they're sending out one of the princes. That's not in my head, is it? I'll shoot him down with a bazooka. How about that, Sage? That'll be one for the fucking the Jubilee. I love that. We have explosions.
Yeah.
Fireworks over in South America. How about that, Sage?
I'd
like to see Philip talk his way out of that one.
You can't kill a prince. You can't.
What? Not even a ginger one?
Not even a redhead ginger blue? Honestly.
What about the balding one?
You know, what do you think this is? You know, we're not a republic or anywhere near it. And I feel sorry for dear Simon Weston.
Simon loves it, Sage. Don't feel sorry for him. Show him no sympathy, Sage. He's a tough man.
The implication.
Charge the enemy.
Why would he, though? He's got a comfortable life now. He's got his pension.
He's a warmonger.
No, certainly not.
They charged against the Argentinian.
There you are, you
the
see.
The militia.
Burnt her alive. A great man. And he got the George Cross, I do believe.
He got it. But then we pop
Well,
him
I don't know what...
We can pop him in a tank. And then we can pop that other chap in a tank.
Who?
With the wonky legs.
Oh, for God's sake. Ladies and gentlemen, please disregard this man.
I'm just saying, people like a freak.
Oh, we don't say that anymore.
What's his name? The one in the wheelchair who's always going on about physics.
Oh, you're talking about Stephen.
Stephen, I pushed him in a pool. See if he could swim. He's fucking good, you know. He soon got those joints moving when he was drowning.
No. He is...
He's above himself.
He's above himself. I don't. The poor man has been in
about bloody black holes.
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics and all this stuff. Please, I don't want to hear it. I've had enough, Sage. I need a biggie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the man is going...
I need a biggie, Sage.
Well, go, please. Winston, take him out.
I can't help it, Sage.
He's just insulted the whole Scope organisation.
I need a biggie, Sage. It's dropped into the flight path.
Oh, no, come on, please.
It's dropped
please.
into the flight
I don't
path.
like that sort of... And it's not funny. It's not funny.
No, I'm not. It's serious stuff, Sage.
Well, it is serious.
It's ready to fly. It's ready to take
off. No, I don't want to talk about it. Toilet humour. The Germans don't like toilet humour.
I know. That's why we won the war. They kept turning off our secret radios.
Yeah, indeed. They didn't understand, did they?
They kept going down the line. And the Germans, what is this English humour? That's what they
That's
said.
what it was. Toilet humour. Lavatorial.
We were secretly, we were saying we'll take them in the morning.
Is that what you were saying? That was a part of the code.
I think I thought I really do need a biggie.
Oh, please. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please... I'm going to play some music.
I thought I farted, but I followed through.
Oh, God,
Sage,
please.
I really must go.
Please don't.
Must excuse
Do you know we have intelligent people listening to this?
I know the German. And I wouldn't worry yourself, Sage. People know what's going on. You know, they've watched books and they've read films. They gotta go.
Germans. Could you stop this? Could you stop this?
I'm late for takeoff.
You know, I've had enough. I'm really had enough.
God bless him. Poor old bastard. He thought he farted, but he followed through. Not right, what he done there. It's nice, I understand, you know, a lot of problems there in the world. You know, Solly the Presser. Yeah, I miss him. He certainly knew how to relax me, you understand? You have been listening to the Colonel's Radio Show at www.colonelradioshow.co.uk. But where's the fun in all this?